All right, Nickel City Mafia, what is up? We are back after a week off with another fantasy football breakdown. Bringing down week 5 and heading into week 6. We have a big game this week, Jeremy. My
Yep.
team,
Oh yeah.
Baltimore Ravens, take on little I-95 rivalry here. Take on your Commanders. I see you're sporting the sweatshirt, so I'm sure we'll
Gotta.
have a lot to say about both of those teams. But week 5, we finally saw a lot of points, right? A lot of fantasy points, a lot of scoring in the NFL this past week, which was a bit of a change from what we were getting used to. So we have a lot to break down this week. And as always, this is a Q&A show. So we'd love your trade questions, your strategy questions, and we are taking all of those right away. But I got to ask Jeremy, overall, just how are your teams doing? And, what kind of strategies are you employing moving forward if you're like, really trailing in a league like 1-4, 2-3, and then vice versa. If you have like a nice lead in the league, you're first or second, are you doing anything different? So let's kind of talk before we talk about actual stats. Let's talk about some strategy, based on what your record is.
Yeah. I think it's a great thing to talk about. I think hopefully you're in a good spot and you're up, and if you're like one of the top teams in your league, you're 4-1 or 5-0, something like that. You kind of want to assess like what your weak spots are, and this year it's probably tight end, like everybody's is. So you could kind of go after one of the top tight ends, like a Brock Bowers, maybe a Trey McBride, somebody who's like going to be more consistent. I think Sam Laporta will probably come back eventually for everybody. So if you have like kind of bench players that you're not using, the other teams could maybe use, go after a lower team that needs help and try to take away maybe their top tight end asset if it helps you, and give them some other assets that will help them. Another strategy is going after hurt guys on teams that aren't doing as well. Go after a Puka. Nico just got hurt. We're not sure how long he's going to be out. Cooper Cup too. Both of them, we know when they come back, they're going to be just top fantasy options.
Dude, I'll interrupt you there real quick because
Yeah.
I love that strategy. If you're 5-0, and even if you're 4-1, I think targeting Nico Collins, Puka Nakua, Jonathan Brooks, like
Yeah.
you look to see if those kind of players are on teams that are 1-4,
Hawkinson.
or Hawkinson. Yeah. So basically look at the bottom 3 teams in your league and look for a hurt player and just snipe that player because they are absolutely desperate, and you are in the perfect position to take advantage of how desperate they are. So I swear, fantasy football, so much is made of like this player versus that player. I really think you could just play this game really well and not talk about a single player. You could just talk numbers and just strategy and do really well. So I really agree with you there. If you're 5-0 or 4-1, go bottom feed, off the bottom of the league. Get in their DMs, tell them how desperate they are, and take a hurt player from them. So I like
Yeah.
that a lot. Bills fan, what's up, Mike? Thanks for stopping in the channel. Is Chubb worth hanging on to? Well, here's the thing, and I'll let Jeremy answer. Um, if you held on to him through week 5, then yes, right? So there's no sense of rostering him and taking a roster spot for 5 weeks if you're not going to continue to hold on to him. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah. I think I would just say if you're at the bottom of your league, then see if you can trade them maybe for somebody who's actually going to start. I still haven't heard a timetable except that he's like starting to
He's
practice, right?
he's
He's
practicing and
officially
feeling
removed.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's practicing and feeling good. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll kind of have to wait and see. So if you want to use that as maybe a like, hey, there's some good news around Chubb, who wants them, and try to maybe package Chubb and another player to like tier up and get some immediate help. That's the only way I would think about getting rid of him. Otherwise, yeah, I'm with you, Chris. You held on for him this long. Go ahead and wait. We know he's much better than Jerome Ford or Deonta Foreman.
If you're 3-2 or better, I wouldn't dream of dropping him right now. So hang on to him, wait for him to get healthy. There's better days coming. He's very, very good, and that offense literally has nothing going for them, especially through the air. They're going to have to rely on him. All right, Jackson. Hey, thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate you. Need some help. am I delusional for considering this? I give Josh Allen, Kittle, and Marvin Harrison Jr., and you get Mahomes, Kelsey, and Jamar Chase. So, what do you think, Jeremy? I know where I stand on this one, but I want to see if we're on the same side.
So I just think I'm assuming this is like redraft, and for redraft purposes, Josh Allen is such a leg up on Mahomes this year. It's pretty big. Kittle is maybe better than. I mean, we're going to see Kelsey come back because Rashee Rice is done for the year. We think Hollywood's not coming back.
Yeah.
He is officially done for the year. Okay.
Yeah.
I know they're doing that
yeah, he's done
telescopic surgery today, so okay, he is officially done.
Yep.
And then the only way here is Jamar Chase is definitely a better player than Marvin Harrison, but I think the advantage you have with Josh Allen over Mahomes is just greater. Mm-hmm. So I'd stick with what you have, man, and be okay with it.
So I think I'm agreeing. I like the Josh Allen, Kittle, and Harrison side. Josh Allen, we're a little bit worried about him because he just went like 9 for 30, and he looked to be like he could have had a concussion in back-to-back games here. But Patrick Mahomes is low key like dog shit this year. Like he has not been good at all. That team has a
for fantasy,
right?
He still wins games. He's a top quarterback in the league. Just
I agree.
For fantasy purposes.
For fantasy, they move slow. They rely on the running game. They just gave Kareem Hunt like 47 carries. I mean, he's they lost Rashee Rice. They lost Hollywood Brown. Travis Kelce is a ghost of himself. Mahomes is a name at this point. There is like, I would rank him as like a back end QB1 at this point. Allen is without a doubt a top 2 QB every week.
Yeah.
Maybe not this week because he's like concussed and playing the Jets, but that's besides the point. Kittle's been better than Kelsey, and it's not been close. And Marvin Harrison Jr. is a rookie, and he's only going to get better, and he's already been good. So for me, this is the Allen, Kittle, Harrison side by a decent margin.
Yeah, we might still see Josh Allen have another bad game. They get the Jets. But, the Jets have a lot of turmoil going on because the Jets are going to Jets. Yeah. Fire the head coach. Like, who knows? But he always puts up points. Josh Allen always puts up points for you. And Mahomes, he does kind of low-end quarterback 1 points. So I just think like at a position you have such an advantage. You have the best quarterback,
So here's what I would do is if you can take Allen and Mahomes out of that trade and keep Allen, and you just want to flip Kittle and Harrison for Kelsey and Chase, I like that. But I wouldn't give up your advantage with Allen there.
If they'll do that, I mean, go for it. If they won't, maybe throw in something else to sweeten the deal, there to try to, because I do think it's worth upgrading those 2 positions.
Yeah.
What's up, Eddie? How's it going, man?
Yeah.
Oh, he lost Nico.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks
rough.
for stopping by again, man. Appreciate you. That's 3 weeks in a row for you. So appreciate it, my guy.
Yeah. So, sorry we were off last week. I had work stuff going on out of town.
Yeah. Lost Nico this week. So let's just talk about that real quick. I know we're going to talk about the Texans game, but let's just talk about Nico Collins real quick. So caught a really long touchdown and, I guess strained / tore his hamstring. He's going to be out for a minimum of 4 weeks. So in redraft leagues, what are you doing with Nico? I mean, I guess it depends on your record a little bit, right? I mean, if you're 4-1, 5-0, and you have an IR spot, you're probably not sweating this that much, right? You're just tossing him on IR. Now, what if you're 2-3 and you don't have an IR spot? What do you do with Nico Collins right now?
I mean, depending on your team, if you think you can, you have somebody to replace them with and you can struggle it out and, you're a middling team, you can get a couple wins in there, then I think you hold them. But I'm also not against, maybe seeing if one of the top teams wants to trade something for him, try to package him for somebody else or, somebody to help you get wins right now if you really don't have anybody good enough to put in that spot. But yeah, I would try to hold him. He's such an alpha. Like, we thought he was going to be good. I don't think anyone thought he was going to be this good, having to share targets with Diggs and Tank. And I know Tank's been a little banged up, but he's just like blown everybody else out of the water.
Yes, he said, forgot to tell you I did Brees, Shakir, and Pittman for Mixon, Debo, Reed, and Brooks. Okay. I mean, Brees has not been all that good, but Mixon hasn't played. Shakir was out. Debo's been kind of bad, but Jaden Reed's a top 5 wide receiver so far this year. And Jonathan Brooks, we don't know yet, but he's about to be
I
the
hope.
only thing going in his
Yeah.
offense, right? So,
I hope
yeah, I
so,
mean,
Brooks. And I love selling Pittman too. I think he's a guy that unfortunately, unless Joe Flacco keeps the job, which he's not, they're gonna put Richardson back
yep,
in when he's
yep.
healthy, which is bad for Pittman. We've just seen Pittman doesn't do well in that offense. So I think you did well there. Like I think you kind of most of that trade's trading on Brees's name, right? And Pittman a little bit. And as long as Mixon comes back, you crush that trade, dude, for sure.
Agree. Plus, you got 4 players
Yeah.
back for your 3. All right. Well, thank you guys for the questions. Those that are here and want to keep asking questions, trade questions, strategy questions, this is a Q&A show, so fire away. Until we get questions, we're kind of going to hop through 4 or 5 games that we found to be interesting this week. So let's go ahead and fire it up. So game number 1, my Ravens. This was an absolute freaking barn burner here.
Oh
My
yeah.
Ravens win an absolute thriller of a game in overtime against the Bengals. I will say the Ravens got lucky as shit to win this game. Lamar basically fumbled away the game. And then for some reason, the Bengals, who threw the ball all over the yard on us all day long, decided to run the ball 3 times straight up the middle with Chase Brown and settle for a 50-some yard field goal. And they had a bad snap, missed a field goal. Derrick Henry ran it for 51 yards on the next play, and Justin Tucker kicked a chip shot, and it was over. So
King Henry, man. Yeah.
I don't know why the Bengals just decided to be ultra conservative and try that field goal. But anyway, I will take it. Lamar Jackson has probably one of the top 5 games of his career in this one. Hate to say it, but he looks like the front runner for his 3rd MVP award right now. He's just absolutely in control of his game and control of this team. It's pretty awesome to watch. But anyway, are you on Lamar QB number 1 overall train right now over Josh Allen, or is it close?
I think it's close. Yeah. I think it's like, if the Eagles need to get their offense together, but I think it's, Lamar Hurts Allen at the top there. And then I think you got my boy Jaden right on their heels.
Yep.
Just
Agreed.
he rushes so damn much. You can't take that out of the factor right there. And it was great. And Eddie, yeah, sorry about yesterday, man. We switched to today this week. Work stuff happens and whatnot. We
Yes.
appreciate it though.
Yeah.
No, but this game actually that morning I made a Jamar Chase trade, so I was very happy with this game.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, so Burrow, chucks it all over the yard like he's playing in backyard football. We had no answer for Jamar Chase or T. Higgins, and the Ravens have just been, I know they're known for defense year after year after year, but their defense is kind of one to attack right now in fantasy. Dallas shredded them. The Bills didn't do much, but Dallas shredded them. The Bengals shredded them. The Raiders shredded them. So they are kind of struggling right now. I know eventually they'll turn it around, but in the near term, like this week, Washington versus Baltimore might have 100 freaking points scored. Two big offenses without much defense on the other side. But anyway, this game, a little bit weird, right? I mean, the Bengals just absolutely sell out to stop the run. Henry has 92 yards, but 51 of them were in overtime on one play. So they basically sold out to take Derrick Henry out of the game. And that opened up a lot of big plays for Zay Flowers and the Ravens' secondary weapons. So Mark Andrews finally getting some love. Isaiah Likely with 2 touchdowns. Charlie Kohler, their 3rd tight end, with a touchdown. So they basically went tight end heavy this game. But yeah, anything else you see from the Ravens side, and how do you look at this offense moving forward?
I love seeing Zay Flowers get all those targets. That's awesome. We want him to be the alpha there. I think Mark Andrews is still probably droppable. I was gonna say, like, if we met last week, like, you can drop Mark Andrews now. In a game where, like, there was a lot going on, so he got 4 receptions, but they're just not using him. I don't know if they just don't like him anymore on the offense. Like, and then Isaiah Likely, the man just gets open in the end zone. Like, so I think after this game, you can kind of start Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews. I don't even know if you can roster him. Like, there's like a glimmer of hope here, right? But yeah, and then how about Charlie Kohler catching a touchdown?
He had a
What?
really good quote after the game.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he said, yeah, the defense was so focused on Mark and Isaiah that they forgot about the fat white guy running down the middle.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Oh man,
Kohler's he's a big boy. He's 265, 270 pounds. He's kind of like our blocking tight end, but he's had a couple big plays this year. Anyway, do not pick up
yeah.
Charlie Kohler is what I'm trying to say.
No.
This was a game flow and strategy thing for him.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I think you said it right. Likely is more startable than Andrews just because of his big playability and his red zone usage. So I'm with you there. I don't know that I would drop Andrews because the tight end landscape has been that bad this year that I don't really know like who you're picking up and playing over him. But yeah, I feel your frustration through the screen here.
And I think if you're going to play him next week is great because Washington's secondary is not good. So start all your Ravens next week. It's
Start
just
all your Ravens, start all your Commanders next week.
Well, Commanders, you're starting B-Rob, Jaden, and Terry McLaurin. That's the only Commanders you're starting, I guess. If you need tight end, Zach Ertz, I guess. But even that's iffy. I hope there's a better tight end out there for you.
So on the Bengals side of the ball, Joe Burrow has one of his best games of his career. Yep. 5 touchdowns, 1 interception, but that 1 interception was literally the game loser. I mean, there was so many points in this game that the Bengals just could have put it away. And for some reason, interception late in the fourth quarter, trying to get it one-on-one to Jamar Chase with Humphrey guarding, and Humphrey just guesses the route and picks it off. So crucial mistake there. An injury that we saw was late in the game. Zach Moss looks to have a pretty bad ankle sprain. Some are saying looks like high ankle. Are we about to enter Chase Brown season officially? Is it about to happen?
So he's been the better back, like just efficiently throughout the season. They just like Zach Moss more. I haven't heard yet that he's officially out. I've heard he's questionable and like limited and stuff. So we're waiting to hear on that. If he is, Chase Brown becomes like a top play, I think, probably top 15-ish play at running back.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
I thought it was interesting to see, like, we finally saw the Cincy offense do what we wanted it to do, funnel targets to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Like, ignore everybody else. Just give it all to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. One of the leagues you and I are in, I've got Chase and Higgins on my team, and it was just, I think it was 70 points between the two of them. Like, it was the best week ever. And this is what we want. That, and then Chase Brown getting in there, getting the mix. He gets some receiving work in there. He gets a receiving touchdown. That's why I have like high hopes for him. I think, he's got the receiving work. He's also the more efficient back. If Zach Moss is out, could be a huge grab. He's probably sitting on some waiver wires there too for people to pick up.
Could be. I would hope not, but could be. But yeah, if Moss misses a week or two, Chase Brown, I think, is a back-end RB1. Just really explosive player on an offense that scores tons of points. I think we probably touted Higgins as a buy low just because he was missing some time. And we know when he's healthy and playing, guy absolutely destroys. So you're not going to be able to...
level.
Yeah.
The talent level. Like, you can see like Yoshivas, Burton, like these guys that are like behind him. It's just like, they're not as good. Like, maybe one day, probably not. Adion said he dropped Andrews for Tucker Kraft. You're probably super happy with that, man. Tucker Kraft, the breakout tight end of the season besides Bowers. Yeah. So nice job there.
Good move there. Yeah.
Also, I would definitely drop Taysom Hill for Buggy Irvin. Yeah, that's a great call. Irving is like just taking over that backfield. Every week, it's more and more Irving. I think, the next few weeks, we'll probably see him just get the bulk of the load there.
Yeah, agree. Bucky Irving, we've been talking about him for a few weeks in a row as a really high-end handcuff on a good offense with a shaky running back room. So love that. Yeah, Taysom Hill. Didn't he score 2 touchdowns recently? I don't know.
Was it? He didn't play this last week. I think it would have been the week before, probably. Yeah.
Week before, yeah. I
It's
mean,
Taysom Hill. He always gets a touchdown somehow.
dude, I have like I know it's my own fault, but I have just like a vendetta against him. I just can't freaking stand that guy. I don't know why. Like I never roster him. I never play him
because he
and
vultures from everybody.
every time he scores a touchdown, I just get irrationally mad at the world.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's stop talking about Taysom Hill. Cool. Well, all right. Well, on to the next game. Another AFC clash. Colts go to Jacksonville, and what a great game. But they hand the Jaguars their first win of the season. Trevor Lawrence, kind of comes from the dead. I mean, he looked pretty awful his first 3 weeks. And then the last 2 weeks here, he's kind of shown what we thought he could be. So what's your takeaway on this game? Let's start with Jacksonville.
Trevor Lawrence coming back, having a good game again. I think we're seeing like a little bit of what he could be, but also like the Colts don't have the best defense. So that kind of helps him here. And then Tank Bigsby going off because of a little bit of an ETN injury, but also Bigsby's just been playing really well this year. I think Bigsby is like interesting, but I have him as like a sell high. Yeah, I just think if as long as ETN's healthy, he's still going to be the number one guy there. And there's not enough for you to be able to start Bigsby every week.
Yeah,
I like selling him.
The coach speak said that too. So we always say when coaches talk, we listen, right? And after the game, Doug Peterson said, I'm paraphrasing here, but along the lines of, Travis is our guy. I heard that, he got banged up during the game because he's like questionably practicing this week so far. And he like missed a block that he was supposed to make. And, the coach got mad at him or whatever. Travis Etienne has been the starter in this offense for 2 or 3 years. It's not like he's old. He's like 25 years old. Let's not overreact on the backup running back, breaking off a long run here. I know Tank Bigsby did 0.0 things last year. So I'm pumping the brakes a little bit here on Tank.
Yeah. And then the other thing on Jacksonville is Brian Thomas, I think like number 12 wide receiver going forward, just at the end of that wide receiver 1 range for the rest of the year. The guy looks awesome. LSU wide receivers, man, they're good. They're really good.
All of them.
I mean, him and Neighbors are just looking amazing. So we had a question from Joshua here. I'll read this one. He's got Barkley, he's got Traylor or Trey Sermon, depending who's in, as his RBs, Diggs, Higgins as his wideouts, and then who should he play at flex between Rashad White, Jacoby Myers, Quentin Johnson, and Tracy. So here it depends on New York, right? If we hear that Singletary is out, Tracy's the automatic go here. Just it's not close between them. If Devin Singletary is going to start, for me, it'd probably be between Myers and Rashad White. I guess I'd lean Rashad White and hope for a touchdown there. Yeah. I mean, Jacoby Myers, though, Devontae Adams, they've said he's going to be out again. So maybe go Jacoby Myers. It's just Las Vegas just does not look good offensively, except for Brock Bowers there, right?
What is so I know Bucky's been getting more and more of the work, but Rashad White just hasn't been it, huh?
No.
Yeah, I would say I think what Jeremy said is right. I think if Singletary was out, Tracy, I mean, my God, did that guy look great last week?
Yeah.
I mean, that was incredible. So Tracy's the play if Singletary's out, and let's go Jacoby Myers because Devontae Adams is out.
Yeah.
Also, which tight end should I start? Ingram, Brenton Strange, I got both, or Tyler Conklin. How are the Bills against tight ends? Let's see. The Jets play the Bills, right? Let's check it out.
Evan Ingram's healthy, start Evan Ingram. I don't think it's too close.
Even though he hasn't played since week 1?
Yeah, I know Chicago's a tough defense, but I think they've got Chicago. Yeah, I know Chicago's a tough defense, but it's Evan Ingram. I just trust him more than I trust the Jets and what's going on there.
Okay, yeah. So we'll go Ingram. Probably if you want a better floor, I would say Conklin if you like upside a little better, Ingram, just because Trevor's kind of been on a roll. So Josh, thanks for the questions. Appreciate it. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any more questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. All right. So back to the Jaguars Colts game. You were talking about Brian Thomas and how good he's been.
Yeah, he's buy high for me. I think because I think I think he's gonna keep it up. We're gonna keep seeing targets getting funneled his way. He's just very good. I think he's definitely worth going after. I think it kind of makes Christian Kirk a sell. He puts up okay points in this game, but like the week before, again, he got kind of a touchdown to get out of his like kind of low scoring week. He's a tough one to put like as an every week starter, I think. Whereas Brian Thomas, you can confidently put as a in your 3 wide receiver spots or 2 in a flex.
Yeah, I like Kirk a little bit in PPR leagues, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Brian Thomas is like, this is funny because they're on the same team, but like Brian Thomas is what Buffalo wanted Gabriel Davis to be, and Brian Thomas is what Jacksonville wanted Gabriel Davis to be. I mean, he's just like a big, explosive, down the field home run hitter. Looking really, really good. Okay, I got another question here. Schultz or Kraft to start and rest of season?
Kraft for both for me.
Yep, Kraft, dude.
Yeah.
I think you ride the hot hand here.
Yeah.
Luke Musgrave is just not a thing anymore. And we also have a Christian Watson injury. We have Romeo Dobbs injury. And Jordan Love's pretty freaking good. I just love the Packers offense. So
yeah, I think Schultz is really overrated too. He was drafted way too high this offseason.
Schultz gets a mini bump, right? Because Nico's out, but meh. I like Kraft. I mean, gosh, he's a super athletic
monster.
tight end. Yeah, apparently he logged the fastest sprint speed by a tight end this season.
No way.
This year.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, Kraft.
When we move on to elite Joe Flacco,
dude, so good. I mean,
comeback player of the year again.
Oh, okay. Now this sounds silly.
Can he win comeback player of the year twice?
No, he already won it. Yeah, he already won it once. Can he win it
I know.
Twice?
Can he win it twice in a row?
No, but my question is like, do we honestly have to start talking about like, is Joe Flacco a Hall of Famer? Like
yeah, I don't know.
He has a Super Bowl win. He was never like that big, popular, flashy guy, but like, come on, this guy just destroys every time he plays.
He took the Browns to the playoffs. The Browns should have never let him go because Deshaun is complete trash. But they've tied too much money to Deshaun, so now they're just stuck starting him forever. Like, oh my god, I feel so bad for Browns fans. Like, holy crap, that's the worst situation a franchise has ever been in. I think. Like,
also, isn't it hilarious that we're all excited about Anthony Richardson, like top 7 to 12 QB on the year, as his outlook. But then as soon as Joe Flacco takes over, we're like, oh my God, start all the receivers.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what it is, unfortunately. And here Josh Downs goes off. So I think going forward, no matter who the quarterback is, with Downs being healthy again, we'll see him getting more slot work, more targets. So he's the guy I like in this offense. But we got a quick question here.
Yeah. So 12-man league, PPR, 2 flex. Your starters are Kyler, Henry, Brian Robinson, CD, Nico, McBride, T. Higgins, Devonta. That's a really good 12-team team. Your bench is Spears, Dowdle, Wicks. Okay, Wandale. Nico's on IR, so you have a roster spot open. I picked up Trey Tucker, but you're unsure about it. So let me see.
I think that's a good grab because, with Devonta Adams, everyone is pretty sure getting traded. He's a nice grab there. You're probably starting this week instead of Nico. I'd probably go, what do you think? Spears. Dowdle maybe over Spears? Well, Dowdle is getting a lot of the Dallas work.
Dowdle or Spears, you're probably throwing into the flex because you'll move Higgins or Devonta up.
I've got Dowdle pretty comfortably over Spears this week.
Yeah, so you'll move Dowdle into the flex. But let me see though. Like
he said, he's got Hutchinson, Dortch, Bateman, and Leggett there. Leggett or Trey Tucker would be the two I'd be between. Because I like going for another rookie too with Leggett.
Yeah, Leggett's looked pretty
and
good.
And with Thielen still
healthy.
out.
Yeah, when he's healthy. I would say Leggett or Trey Tucker. But I'd be curious just because, I'll throw your team back up here real quick. But my thing, so here's the thing with Trey Tucker, right? You have Wandale Robinson on the bench, who's like wide receiver 19 on the year in PPR. Um, I'm not starting any of those people you just said over Wandale Robinson right now because he's just been producing. So, like,
Yeah,
name me a scenario where you're starting Trey Tucker. I'll wait for an hour and you can't give me one. So, go pick up a running back that is number 2 on their team, and that's probably a better end of bench
that's true. See if
pickup.
Ty Chandler's there. He might not. He might get the start. We haven't heard about Aaron Jones yet. Trying to think which
So,
other running
so
backs I'd be looking at there.
Slapsky, go tell us, 4 or 5 running backs that are on your waiver wire, and I bet one of them is a better pickup than Trey Tucker or
I mean, he's got
Leggett.
Braylon on the bench, so he's already doing good there.
That's one. Let's add another
Yeah.
one, baby, because they're the ones that can be league winners. I promise you.
That's true.
And I'm a big Trey Tucker guy. I love Trey Tucker, especially in best ball. Drafted the crap out of him. I just don't see a situation you're playing him because you have very strong wide receivers. So I just wouldn't.
I took him in best ball too because of you.
Yes,
because you're like, hey, do you want this Trey Tucker? I was like, no. You're like, draft him. Like, all right.
Someone dropped Chandler. Oh, that's an easy one. I mean, I would take him all day over.
Take
over
Chandler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Joshua, thanks for the other question. In my other league, I got Mixon, Cam Akers. You have both. Okay. And Marvin Harrison. I need a RB2. Okay.
Need a receiver, RB2, and a flex between these guys. So he needs 2 wide receivers, running back, and a flex from these guys. Well, it's a little rough there.
No, he needs 1 wide receiver, 1 running back, and a flex.
What's his? Oh, wide receiver 1. Sorry, 1 wide receiver. Wide receiver, I'd probably go Josh Downs because Lad McConnell gets Denver, so he's going to get Patrick Surtain.
Oh, you think they'll shadow that?
Denver's defense is really good, and he's a rookie, so
okay.
And he's got Bo Nix throwing to him, which is like
so Josh Downs for sure if Joe Flacco plays.
I think Tony Pollard.
Pollard's been great. Yeah. So I think
I would go Pollard.
So I'm going.
Yeah, sorry, 100% Tony Pollard. Yeah, I've got him like top 15 this week.
And then I would say for your wide receiver 2, if Flacco plays, it's a slam dunk Josh Downs. If Flacco doesn't play, it's probably a toss up between McConkey and Downs, in my opinion, just because Anthony Richardson's been pretty damn bad through the air. And then for your flex, I just can't do Keenan Allen, man. I mean, he's been not it.
I like Josh. I mean, I think you're doing Josh Downs no matter what in the last spot. I would go Josh Downs either way, either quarterback. I think he's just in the slot. He's going to get looks. I like Josh Downs there, but then it's between probably Lad McConkey or Rashad White. I would go. I think
so. Go Pollard and Downs for sure, and then McConkey. I think for the last one, he's been good, man.
Think so?
Yeah.
He gets Denver. So that has me leaning towards Rashad. I have this, I think, a very similar scenario, and I think I'm benching Lad for Rashad. I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
but they're very close. I have them both very close. That is a tough one there.
Yeah, Patrick Surtain has been really locked down. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like Lad McConkey's like type of role. I think he's less likely to be shadowed.
I'd go Rashad White. Okay. Denver's got good defense. Bo Nix, not great quarterback. I'd go Rashad White here. Just my personal preference.
But Lad McConkey.
We both agree, Don. It's just Pollard and Downs. We both agree, and then you can flip a coin between Rashad White and Lad.
Cool. All right, so
he came back with us. If Ty Chandler's there, grab Ty Chandler over these guys. I think.
Yeah, I don't like any of those. I would go Xavier Leggett for the upside.
Emmanuel has gotten surprisingly a lot of play in Green Bay. So if something were to happen to Josh Jacobs, I don't hate that one.
So you said, we did say Rashad White. So we said Pollard, Downs, and Rashad White.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's who I like there.
Cool. Well, anyway, talk a little bit more about Downs. Guy came into the season with a high ankle sprain. He's now fully healthy and he's being an absolute target hog.
Yep.
12 targets. I mean, he is just like Joe Flacco's kind of guy, right? Just dominates the slot, gets open quickly. So Josh Downs is like Mr. Automatic. If Flacco's in, gets way more targets than Pittman. And man,
And it's
Alec,
the same thing with Richardson too. With Richardson's and Pittman, they just like don't seem to like to let Richardson throw down the field very often. And when he does, it's like this one play to Alec Pierce, you know? So I feel like they're more comfortable with him doing these little slant passes to Josh Downs.
yep. Yeah, Josh Downs is an every week starter in PPR,
Yeah.
pretty much regardless of matchup at this point.
What do you think about JT being out? Is Sermon or Goodson startable or not? Only if you're desperate, right?
I think Sermon is a back end RB2, top end
Yeah.
RB3, especially with buys now a thing. And yeah, I mean, I think your team is probably pretty good if you're not starting Trey Sermon when you have him.
Yeah.
Tyler Goodson, I think that's a pretty deep flex play. Although I did start him in one league last week, and I wasn't that mad about it. I mean,
Yeah, I was just say he
he did
got
all
some
right.
receptions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
It's not terrible.
yeah. But Adonai Mitchell gets some work that came out of nowhere. He was a rookie that I really, really liked coming into this year. Super raw, but really, really high upside. Kind of underutilized in week 1 through 4, but they really get him involved here. He threw a pass, he ran the ball, and got 7 targets. So maybe Joe Flacco had something to do with that. Telling the coaches to get him on the field. Not real sure, but I don't think he's an ad in redraft yet. But if you're in a dynasty league and you have him, you see a glimmer of hope there.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Although he could get there too. We'll see. We can hope that Richardson gets a little more accurate.
So where are you on Alec Pierce? Because let me see. I'm going to see where he ranks amongst wide receivers on the year. He's got to be up there.
He's so tough to start, right? Because it's like a hit or miss. Is he going to get these long, deep passes? They've got Pittman there and Downs there and AD Mitchell.
Yes,
It's tough to start every week. I think he's a flex play, right? He's a flex play guy where you throw him in and you hope he gets that bomb,
in
that 65-yard touchdown.
standard leagues, Alec Pierce is wide receiver 10.
Yeah,
That's wild.
I think he's a flex play. He's not he's so hard to rank because it's all upside, and it could be 0 or it could be 25 points.
I mean, to me, he's like, if I own him, which I don't anywhere, and I didn't pick him up, when he went off week 1, I mean, he's a sell to me. I mean, I think
if you can.
he doesn't get the volume. This stat line is like your absolute ceiling situation, right?
Yeah.
So, not that it's a bad game or anything, but in a PPR league, I want him gone immediately.
Let's move on to the most important game of last week.
Most important game and maybe the most lopsided.
Yeah, I was pretty happy about it.
Yep. The Commanders, man, 4-1, just absolutely stomping on Deshaun Watson and the Browns. I'm going to let you take most of this game since this is your boys.
Let's go.
Yep. It might be hard for you to talk
Raise
with
hail.
Jaden in your mouth, but give it your best shot.
Oh, man. We'll start with everyone knows the Browns are straight trash. You still have to beat them, though. And we beat them. We didn't just beat them. We whooped them. Deshaun Watson needs to get freaking benched for everyone. For the Browns, for the fantasy community, for the fans. Jameis Winston comes in there, and he's going to have so much of a better game. We're going to see the fantasy stock go up for Amari Cooper again. Njoku will come back again. He wasn't fully healthy, I think, this game, but still, it was just, man, it was hard to watch the Browns anytime their offense is on the field. And Washington, by no means, has like an amazing defense, but they made our defense look really good. Yeah. Like, damn, they're bad. But that's all I'll say about that. I guess you have to start Amari Cooper. I have him in one league, and I'm still like every week he's still like considered a like wide receiver 22 range, right? And he never really gets there. Like it's very frustrating to own him in fantasy. And then there's no one else on the Browns I want to start except for Njoku if he's healthy.
If Winston is named the starter, I feel like Cooper is a
top
top
10,
50,
maybe.
top 10 rest of the
He
season.
could be.
Because
Jameis will just sling.
yeah, what do they call that? Jameis is like a DGAF
Yeah.
quarterback. You don't give a
Yes,
yeah,
he's going to throw it deep all day.
yeah,
But yeah, on the Washington side, man, it's fucking good to have a quarterback. Holy shit, it's awesome. Jaden is the real deal. He could be competing with Lamar this year for MVP. If he keeps up games like this, like it's what he's doing is like historic. The numbers he's putting up and stuff, it's insane.
yeah. He set the record for most rushing yards to start a career in the first
Yeah,
5 games by a quarterback.
yeah.
So I don't know if he beat Lamar's record or Michael Vick's record.
I
Probably
think
one
it
of
was
them.
RG3 actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was RG3. That's just top of my head. I think that's who they said it was. Um, but yeah, and that's what gives him this fantasy gold, right? All these rushing yards he's getting, he does it seemingly pretty effortlessly. He mostly doesn't put himself in situations where he's going to get hurt. It's a lot of like running to the edge and catching the outside, a little bit up the middle, and then he started to slide now a little bit, which I like. He was doing this little like tumble roll thing, and I was like, ah. So I think that puts him up there as he can be right in that range with, like we said earlier, Hurts, Lamar, at Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels with the rushing. He's like just right up there now, I think. Um, I I have him in a league where I have him and Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is on the bench the rest of the season. It's
Yep.
Jaden going.
Agree there.
And then running back wise, B Rob was like a little hurt, was still played. You know, he got hurt in this game. He's back, I think, this week. So you're starting him confidently. They really like Jeremy McNichols. Apparently, the coaching staff has said how much they like him and stuff. But neither him or Eckler are guys you can really count on to start unless B Rob goes down and gets hurt. On the wide receiver side of things, you can really only start Terry McLaurin. There's too many other guys they use. And even like we said earlier, Zach Ertz, like a deep tight end play.
Yeah, he
But
started
it's
off the
just,
year hot, but he's kind of cooled since
yeah.
then.
I mean, he still gets 8 targets in this game. He just only catches 2 of them. And Terry gets 8 targets. He catches 4. The rest of the guys all get like 2 or 3 targets here, you know? I think Luke McCaffrey is like intriguing later, like maybe the second half of the season as like a slot guy. They use him a little bit more. They seem to really like him. He's done some good like blocking stuff for them and things like. So if he's getting used a lot in that kind of the game, De'Ami Brown finally catches a long touchdown. That
We've
was
been
really fun to
asking for that
watch.
for weeks.
Yeah, that's like what he does, right? When he's UNC and stuff, that's what he does. He goes for those long touchdowns. So maybe we'll use him more in those areas, but neither are guys you want to roster. But like I said, just a good time to be a Commanders fan. I'm pretty happy.
To me, this is
Anything I was
it's
gonna
like
say, what do you think?
it's like okay. So I'm a little bit taken back, right? I mean, I don't think anyone, especially Commanders fans, knowing what you guys have been through, thought you would have a rookie quarterback and start 4-1 and look this good doing it, right? But this is a really odd team fantasy wise, right? I mean, obviously Jaden Daniels is like, I don't think anyone would argue, even if you're down on him, you can't start. He's like a QB6 at worst, even if
Yeah.
you're really low on him. But like the running back room, Brian Robinson, mid to back end RB2 type. Eckler's like a flex 2 if it's PPR. McNichols, I don't know where that came from. That's 2 decent weeks in a row, but I don't think he's startable. And then, like you said, McLaurin's the only startable skill position player. Zach Ertz, I think I think he's a good play this coming week against the Ravens, just because I think there's going to be 80, 90 points in that game. So, I mean, it's going to be,
who knows? Or
but,
or you and I will both be disappointed. It's just gonna be like a super boring game where it's all
20 to
field goals on
17.
both sides. Yeah, it's Tucker and our guy Seifert just like going at it with the field goals, and
but it's like a super confusing. I don't want to say lame because it's definitely not been lame because they've been putting up tons of points, but it's like it's just Jaden and McLaurin and B Rob, and it's like kind of boring that a team scoring this many points is only like 3 startable players. But hey, is what it is.
It's a super efficient offense, so that's sometimes that's not fun because B Rob gets all the points and stuff. But man.
All right. Adion, he says, I'm 4-2, but my team has so many injuries. Can you all let me know again what to do? So tell us your players that are injured. I mean, I think
There's the team.
Yeah, Kyler, Jacobs, Mixon, Pollard, Brooks, Allen, Pacheco, Marv, Reed, Debo, Higgins.
You're all right, man. I think you hold out, dude. You're starting Kyler, you're starting Jacobs, if not Mixon, then Pollard. And then you've also got your wideouts. You're starting Marvin, Reed, Debo, Higgins, and then Tucker Kraft. I think you're fine.
I mean, I think you could stand to have, one more top end running back. And he kind of says that here. I'm looking to move Mixon or Jacobs with Reed for running back one. Don't do that. I mean, Jordan Reed is a bona fide top 10 wide receiver rest of season, I think. I mean, you agree? I mean, I think he's officially in wide receiver one territory.
Yeah, I think so. It's with Green Bay, it's tough because like sometimes they spread the ball around, but I've got him like just on the fringe wide receiver one, like wide receiver 14.
But like you're not trading
I wouldn't
Jacobs and Reed for a different running back, right?
No, yeah, I wouldn't go to do that. Maybe move like Mixon and Debo.
Mixon and Rome.
Mixon and Rome or Mixon and Debo. Yeah.
For like a top
Rome's
end.
tough. Rome might not be attractive to people.
Ooh, I have a good trade for you to go after because I like when like I got a specific one.
Okay.
So let's do. See, I almost don't want to trade Mixon because he's been out, but I think he's coming back. Let's go. That's fine. Mixon or Pollard with Debo or Rome, and let's try to get Bijan Robinson. I think Bijan is a really good buy low candidate right now. This week specifically, he's got Carolina. I think just the way the games have been going, the last couple games, Kirk has been throwing it all over the yard. I think when it comes down to it, Bijan's going to get way more workload than he's been getting. And I just think he has a really, really smash matchup this week. And I think it's a perfect time to buy him because I think after this week, I think he's going to drop, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns this week. I mean, I want him everywhere I can. I just think it's a great matchup. So yeah, I would try to tier up to Bijan. I know he struggled a little bit, but I think he's still a top 6 fantasy running back no matter what.
Yeah. Then we had a question from Lucius here. I'm not quite sure. He's saying league mate left to trade out there in a 10 team. Oh, so you're giving up Nico and getting all those guys. I mean, it's kind of a mean thing to do. That is a reason though. Like once the game starts, I go in and withdraw all my trades for this exact reason because this can happen. And I actually had a trade with our friend Rick where I was giving away Brian Thomas and I think Stephon Diggs for like Devontae Smith or something, and I was like, nope. I know. Whoa. It's like, whoops, yanked that one.
I mean, I think if I were you, Lucius, I probably would have done this trade even if Nico stayed healthy.
Yeah, if Nico stayed healthy, I would have taken the trade before the week because Nico for A-Chain and either one of those guys is great. To get all three is pretty awesome. But I would take the high road here and message and be like, hey man, if you still want to do this trade, I will do it. But
yeah, I wouldn't. I mean,
maybe you could also say like, hey, Nico's hurt. I'll give you Deontay Johnson, man.
Hey, hold on.
Wait, no. Oh, you're giving up Nico. Sorry.
Keep talking about it. My dog's trying to get in the room.
My bad. Sorry, I got that mixed up. You're giving away Nico. Yeah, you could ask him and see. Your wideout's already strong. You've gotcha. Yeah, it's the nice thing to do to not do it. Yeah, I take the high road here and not do it. Maybe if he still wants Nico, maybe put together a different trade for Nico or something that feels a little bit more fair. Because he's still going to come back in 4 weeks and be a top guy. It's not like he's going to be gone the rest of the season. But maybe like, I don't know. I would maybe be looking to move Waddle. I'm not sure about. I'm not sure about Miami right now. That's tough. So you could maybe try to offer him like Waddle and Nico for like. I like buying low on A Chain. He's one of my buy low candidates for like A Chain and Brian Thomas or something.
Yeah, agree. Sorry,
See
man.
how that goes. Yeah.
Nature,
No worries.
nature call for the dog.
Yeah. All good. Yeah, no
Hey,
problem, man. Lucius, thanks for joining us and hanging out, dude.
yeah, thanks for the super
Make
chat.
sure you like and subscribe and stuff. And we love taking questions. It's like the fun thing about doing this for us.
Yeah, if you have another one for us, please drop it in the chat.
Yeah.
Did we talk about
Nah,
Joshua's?
I haven't done his yet. Yeah.
Okay, go
Let's see.
for it.
So he says, should I trade Saquon for Bijan and more? Take a trade in league where you have Saquon Taylor as RBs, Higgins, Diggs as wide receiver, Myers as flex. You also have, I guess that's Rashad White, Tracy, and Worthy on the bench. Man, that's a nice little lineup you got there.
I DJ
I mean,
Moore. I mean, I'm taking Bijan.
I'm assuming
and
it's DJ Moore. Yeah, Bijan and DJ Moore is the way to go. We think we both have Bijan ranked higher than. Well, I have Saquon ranked higher than Bijan, but they're very close.
Yeah, I mean, I think Saquon is rest of season.
He's a touchdown machine.
He's not lower than RB3, right? I mean, a lot of
I
people
think
have
he's
him
RB1.
Yeah, he's RB1. I mean, Henry's up
Yeah,
there, but
I think Henry's close. Yeah.
Bijan is no worse than like RB6, and DJ Moore is like a every week wide receiver too. And Caleb's only going to get better, and he looked really good this past week. DJ Moore is not a throw in, right? I mean, he's a smash starter.
He's
So
legit.
I don't like to tear down like this all that much, but this is a good one. I mean, I would do it.
I'd take it probably and then try to flip like DJ Moore and Stephon Diggs for a top guy. Go after a Malik Neighbors, a Jamar Chase, try to think somebody who's like AJ Brown owner might be a little frustrated right now. Somebody like that and try to look at somebody on like a struggling team in your league and see who their top wideout is and go over there for that.
DJ Moore on this one. Say Jackson says DJ Moore or Debo rest of season. Debo's looked off, man. I don't know what it is. I mean, he's slightly getting up there in age. He's battled injuries his entire career. I don't know. There's something about him this year doesn't seem right.
I have them both really close. I have Debo a little higher just because they like to use him in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
I just think they haven't. I don't know. Well, I think it's very close. Rest of the season. I guess I would lean DJ Moore with like the Caleb coming out party happening and stuff. We're hoping that DJ Moore is his favorite target rest of the season. But honestly, I think you could like flip a coin between the two. But Debo just has more of that like breakout ability because they'll let him like run the ball in for a touchdown. They'll design plays for him and stuff. And DJ Moore is more about like kind of that deep threat and having a rookie quarterback. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I think they're really close, but
I have them both really close. Yeah. That's why I think I just said, like, I was saying, package them together for a better wideout. If you have both, you're not sure who to start, package them together and go after a top 5 wideout in the league. Maybe somebody on a lower team that has AJ Brown, Amon-Ra or something.
Yeah, so I'm going back to this question real quick. I'm just like salivating over this one more and more, just because Bijan gets Carolina and DJ Moore gets Jacksonville, and they're both just absolute freaking dumpster fire defenses. If you can just get that done this week, I mean, you have 2 really high end starters for week 6, like that.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm losing lock a little bit about how Debo's been doing. I know Ayuk had a really big week this past week, but so Debo missed a week or 2, right? I mean,
yeah.
And I guess it depends when McCaffrey comes back, how that might affect him.
I mean, he's wide receiver 42. He had a bad game, like 3 points, but the first 2 weeks he was, almost 20 points each game in PPR.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think like we'll see him come back to that,
Yeah, DJ Moore's he's never had less than 10 points, 10, 11, 15, 11, 27. Yeah,
I just don't know if we'll see him have as many breakout games as Debo does. Like when Debo's on, he's on.
agree.
So
All right, let's move on to Nickel City Mafia's hometown, Buffalo Bills. So
this
Bills,
one was brutal.
yeah, Bills take one on the chin a little bit here. Josh Allen, probably one of his rougher games in years.
And
You
only
know, right?
131 yards, like throwing.
Well, the 9 of 30 is what's more concerning to me.
Yeah.
You know, Texans defense somewhat stout, but not like that. So this is kind of back-to-back weeks against the Ravens and the Texans that the Bills offense just looks to be a little bit in a blender. So
It
tough.
looks bad. The only shining light is James Cook there.
Mhm.
He gets all the carries, 82 yards and a touchdown. And it was kind of fun. I watched a little bit of it and saw like the Keenan Coleman touchdown. And that was kind of fun to watch. We see him get a long touchdown. We'd love to see a rookie get involved and put up fantasy points for us. But that's kind of it. And it's just really rough. I mean, Josh Allen still gets 54 rushing yards for you, so he helps you a little, but you started him. This is a rough week for Josh Allen fantasy owners.
Yeah, I went all in.
Yeah, James
Josh,
Cook, Turpto.
yeah, I went all in
Is
Josh
he
Allen this
out
year.
though? Ad yet, I hadn't seen he's out. Or is he just like they're just saying
look
it's like
that
a
up.
full recovery is probably 1 to 3 weeks? Because I haven't read anything about him being out yet.
I did not know about that.
I'll say I'm usually up on that one too.
I need to know. Hold on. Let's see here. He did not practice
he's
today.
questionable, yeah.
It says more of a precaution thing than ever. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Because
at
I mean,
his
if he is out, I guess it's like Ty Johnson. I don't know. They
yeah.
also have Ray Davis there. So
Well, I would say if
the
he's
rookie.
out, it's just not looking good against the Jets this week.
Yeah, they do get the Jets. That's true.
Yeah.
But I would probably, if Ray Davis is on your waiver wire, just snatch him because you tend to like the rookie a little bit better.
Yeah, agree. But I don't think it sounds too serious with Cook. But I don't know if Mike, if you're still listening, or Jake, if you're listening, tell us what's up with James Cook. I didn't think it was that bad off. Dude, we need a serious talk about Kincaid. I know me and you were both pretty heavy on him this year. At least I was. I have Dalton Kincaid everywhere in Dynasty and in redraft, and he is officially crapping the bed. Leads the team in targets, but just consistently not doing a whole lot. And I thought he was kind of going to be the go-to guy this year. I mean, and it's not happening. I don't know if I should be optimistic or not.
So the optimistic viewpoint is the whole offense sucks, right? He's the only one not putting up points and not doing anything. Like we're seeing the whole passing offense not be great. Khalil Shakir is like the only one who has been, and he's hurt. So I that's the only thing I can say is like I think we'll hopefully see that come back as the offense. I mean, they need to fix something here with this offense. It's broken. It's not doing its job. I don't know what the problem is. They need to get these guys together and figure it out on the passing end of things. And hopefully that involves getting Dalton Kincaid more better looks. I don't know. He still has 6 targets here, just as much as anybody else. But like I said, it's rough. We'd have to ask the Nickel City guys their opinions on it.
Here's what you ask if I don't see Cook. Do you see Frank Gore Jr. debut?
That's a
Is he
good
still?
one.
I thought they cut him.
Hey, I think he's somewhere else, right?
Did they cut him, or maybe they got him back on the practice squad? I mean, my general answer is no. I think Ray Davis and Ty
No, he's
Johnson.
there. Yeah, he is there. But you never know. But yeah, I think it's like Ray Davis and Ty Johnson. I don't know if they would elevate 3, but you never know. It would be fun.
Yeah, would be a good story. Anyway, Keon Coleman, again, just really confusing usage. They just basically tell him to jog down the sideline every play, and then once a game, they kind of just throw it up and he'll catch it and score a touchdown. I don't know what that is. I know there was worry about him and his speed and separation ability. He's a contested catch, high point, strong hands kind of guy, but I don't know, man. Just concerning usage there. Not a whole lot to really get excited about fantasy wise for Keon Coleman. I don't think he's a must start at all,
Yeah, I
especially
think
with the
they're
way they're
benching.
rolling
I was
here.
gonna say they're playing the Jets on Monday. I think they're benching most of your Bills.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately Josh Allen. You got to play, but
Do you
the
though?
rest of them, I do. Depending who your backup is. If your
Do
backup's
you
Jaden
though?
Daniels, no. But man,
Yeah,
it's
I have a I
yeah.
have a
I'm
league
kind
where
of curious to watch Monday.
I don't know, man. Josh doesn't look right 2 games in a row here, and he took a really big hit in both games, so little worried about that situation. But anyway, flip it over to the Texans side. Yeah, I mean it was kind of I don't even know if we can call him a sleeper, but the Texans are a young upcoming team, exciting quarterback, exciting head coach, and just loaded at skill positions and they're catching their stride, man. 4-1. Tell me what you saw here.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it earlier. It sucks to see Nico get hurt and looking like he's done for 4 weeks or so. He's just been amazing for them. So, and he could have had an even bigger game here. It does, though. I think it means huge things for Stephon Diggs. We just see him get peppered with targets every week. Every week, I think this is the week we're going to see Tank Dell get more targets than Stephon Diggs. It doesn't happen.
No.
They like Stephon Diggs. He's having himself a year there. He's a great wide receiver, and he apparently so far we haven't heard anything about any kind of off the field drama or locker room drama or anything. So I think he gets a huge bump with Collins out, and then hopefully we start to see some more Tank Dell, some more him on those long routes and stuff. He should get a pretty big bump here too. The
So
running back wise, I think
is Tank
Mixon's
Dell
back.
a buy low for you?
He's probably like a buy period, right? I don't know if you're buying him low with Nico hurt. The price probably went up a little bit on him. But
Right.
yeah, I think
So,
so. I think he's definitely you can put him as a buy low, just as a buy candidate.
okay. Yeah, probably taking a little bit of a leap of faith there. He's
Yeah.
been pretty not good so
But he's
far.
also like not 100% maybe yet, right? He started the season like a little hurt, a little banged up. So I think as we see him get healthier, I think we'll see him play more. I think we'll see his talent emerge. And running back wise, if Mixon's out, Cam Akers seems to be the guy to start. Even though Dare got a lot of carries here, Cam just gets the better work, I guess.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, so this, if Cam doesn't get this touchdown, this looks a lot different, right? Because Dare started the game and Dare played 70% of the snaps in this game. And Cam Akers kind of, I'm not going to say lucked into a touchdown because he had a, pretty nice game there. Got a little bit of work in the passing game, but Dare got 6 catches for 57 yards. I'm not so sure that Cam Akers is the guy if Mixon is out. I don't know.
I don't think I want to start either of them, really. Like, you don't want to be in a situation where you're starting either of them. But this is a great offense, so it's their flex plays as long as Mixon's out. But if Mixon's in, he's just the guy. We've seen that. They really like Mixon. He's definitely the guy. And then we can talk about CJ Stroud, but he has a great game. Only the one touchdown. We'd like to get more than one throwing touchdown, but over 300 yards, great. Hopefully we see some more touchdowns.
Yep. Yeah, it's basically now or never for Tank Dell, right? I mean, with the 4-week injury from Collins, time for him to step up. I think we'll see it. I'm buying where I can. Okay. So one more game to go over here, and then if anyone in the room has any questions for us, we will take those as well. But our last game is a NFC battle here. The poor Rams, just so beat to shreds with injuries, lose another one at home to the Packers. Jordan Love's back, Christian Watson out, Romeo Dobbs out, but they still get it done on the road here. What was your takeaways from this one?
So this was supposed to be the Dontavian Wicks breakout game. That's what I was looking for. That's what everybody said. It didn't happen. He had not just like one, but like a few bad drops, and man, it was kind of rough to watch. It was rough to watch Dontavian Wicks here. But Tucker Kraft has a breakout tight end game where he goes nuts. So if you're a Tucker Kraft owner, you're super happy you haven't started him. And then Jaden Reed proves that he's the number one there still. You know, everyone wasn't sure going into the season with so many wideouts. Is there really going to be a number one? Everyone kept asking the coach, who's the number one wideout? Who's the number one wideout? He's like, we have 4 number one wideouts. No, it's Jaden Reed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Jaden Reed and then Tucker Kraft with a close second. Dobbs out. They're saying he'll probably be back this week. I think with Dobbs back, it kind of, puts Wicks on the back burner there. And we'll see Dobbs get all those looks that Wicks got, and he'll probably catch them. But yeah, on that, Jordan Love, he's looking like a great quarterback again. It's their, a different team when he's back under center. And then with the Rams, it's so hard to see them without Puka and without Cooper Kupp. It's like the entire offense is done. Connor Williams is just trying to carry it all on his back right now. The only little bit of a shining spot was, I think you and I have talked about Colby Parkinson, tight end position. He has a good game. And then I think we talked about Whittington a while ago as like a potential pickup when these injuries happened. And he finally has for him a breakout game.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you on Jaden Reed on the Green Bay side. I just love that every game he gets to like 2 or 3 carries. I don't know why that makes such a big deal to me, but he runs one in every now and then, and to me it just proves that the team understands his value and explosiveness when a wide receiver gets carries, right? I mean, it just means that they know that he's one of the playmakers that they need to get the ball in his hands. So, pretty much all in on Jaden Reed for the rest of season. And yeah, the Rams, I don't know, man. I don't think you can't start Stafford. Kyron is a, top 7 or 8 running back play every week. But man, he's doing God's work behind a terrible and beat up offensive line. And just trying to hold it together. Whittington, I like him a lot. I have him a lot in dynasty leagues, but I'm not really starting him. Good talent, but I don't think he's gonna be a league winner or anything like that with Kupp and Puka coming back eventually.
Yeah, I agree. But they get the Raiders, Vikings, Seahawks, Dolphins, all matchups where they should be able to do stuff against them. Vikings have had a pretty good defense actually, but they should be able to throw.
So Colby Parkinson, tight ends have been so bad that any tight end that gets 13 targets pretty much has to be a locked and loaded tight end 1, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, I've got him right around. I'm just trying to see. Oh, they're off this week. So I was like, why isn't he on this week?
Yeah,
they're off this week. Yeah, but no, he's got to be a top 10 tight end rest of the way.
Yeah, somewhere.
We'll see how things look once Puka and Cooper come back. Which I think the timetable is like at least a month for Puka, right? Was last I heard, and then something similar for Cooper. It's rough.
Looking ugly. Blake Corum got some run finally. They ran him over Ronnie Rivers. That was cool to see. I think basically all that changes for me is he's probably like a pretty high-end handcuff at this point. I don't think he was rosterable until this week, and they finally started to use him this week. So
yeah, we'll have to wait and see if it's. I think we have to wait and see if it's like 2 weeks of being used over Ronnie Rivers, because they were really using Ronnie Rivers a lot. But that's also like, this isn't something new. It's what we see with rookies. We see teams not use rookies like the whole first half of the year, and then they come in and use them. So it's not anything new. We got a quick trade question here from Chaka. Welcome to the chat, man. Would you trade Neighbors, Ingram, Moss for Hill, Mixon, Adams, and Kittle, 3 wide receiver PPR redraft? Hazardous trade, but kind of tempting.
Okay, so it's basically for me like, okay, so let's break this
Neighbors. Down. So Ingram and Kittle
So you're
You're
upgrading. Yep,
upgrading a Kittle a bit.
big time, and he's
Um,
healthy, right?
Zach Moss and Mixon,
You're upgrading to Mixon.
upgrading to Mixon a little bit there, and then Tyreek and Devontae Adams for neighbors. That's kind of a tough one there because I love neighbors so much.
I mean,
Honestly, it should probably be the other side. I just really like neighbors.
so yeah, in Dynasty, you probably like the neighbor side, but in redraft, you're getting 4 pieces that are
Yeah,
every week starters. And here's the thing: Engram hasn't played since week 1, and Jacksonville's looked pretty bad. Moss, there's questioning that
yeah,
he could have a high
could be
ankle
hurt.
sprain, right?
Yeah,
Tyreek Hill, if Tyreek Hill gets Tua back, and if Devontae Adams goes to anywhere,
yeah,
that
that's true.
it's like a smash side, like
Yeah,
the Tyreek Hill side, right? I mean, I know
yeah,
Neighbors has been great, but you're getting 4 like locked and
no,
loaded every week starters. So
I
I,
agree. I agree.
I like that side
And
better.
I mean, you're benching Adams until he gets traded, but until then, and Tyreek Hill, I've had him. He's been frustrating, but you still have to start him every week because he only needs that one long pass to connect on, and you're set. Um,
And let's
so
not
yeah, I
forget,
agree. Even though my neighbor's love is super high, I think it's a great trade to take, man. Chaka, I would do it. Get your starters in Tyreek Hill, Joe Mixon, Kittle, and then as soon as Devontae Adams goes to whether it's New Orleans or hopefully it's New Orleans instead of
yeah,
the Jets, because I don't know what's going with the Jets, but the Devontae Adams band-aid, I don't know how much better it's going to make them.
right. Yeah, like it a lot. I mean, let's not forget how good Tyreek Hill is with Tua. I mean,
Yeah.
he's like the perennial wide receiver 1 every year. So let's I like the Tyreek Hill side there. Thanks for the question, man. Please like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any more questions, throw them our way.
Yeah, we got a
Um,
little bit of time left, I think, but we're done
yep,
with our game recap.
yep.
So if you
So
guys do have questions, shoot them in here before we end up.
yeah, gonna log off here in about 5 or 10 minutes. So Jeremy, let's we talked about them kind of along the way, but give me some of your your buy low candidates, players that haven't really been up to snuff thus far, but you think they're about to catch fire.
Yeah. So my first one is kind of, I don't know if it buy low, buy mid, or buy high almost a little bit. But the Minnesota passing attack, uh, they're really good with Sam Darnold, and they're on bye this week. So owners might not, be looking to get somebody in the spot for this week. You could kind of buy high on Justin Jefferson if you wanted, but Jordan Addison, he's had a couple good games, but he had kind of one blow up game and then an okay game. So he's one you could go after. Um, Hawkinson, we talked about that earlier. He's just sitting on people's benches right now. If it's a team that's lower in the league, go after Hawkinson to help you out when he comes back in a few weeks. We're thinking maybe after their bye. You talked about Bijan. That's another one we both like as a great buy low candidate right now.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been good. You draft him in the first round probably, and he just hasn't been good. And people are, feeling some kind of way about that. Say, hey, I'll take him off your hands. And I think we both think he's going to have a great rest of the year. Another guy, same kind of vein, is A Chain.
Yep. You read my list,
They're
dude.
oh, am I sorry? Yeah, A Chain. I mean, A Chain. He's just he's a little banged up, and Miami's offense has not been good, but we think it will get better. It's tough to see the offense be that bad, honestly, and it's just like completely revolves around Tua, I guess. But we think it'll get better, and A Chain is something that even if it doesn't get better, A Chain is just going to get a lot of run. So my last guy on my list is Lad McConkey. We talked about him a little bit. He's a rookie who's like starting to come out of his shell a bit, starting to get more work. And I think like the Charger schedule, after this week, after they play Denver, gets a little easier for them, and we'll see him kind of start to get more looks, get more stuff coming his way for the second half of the year.
Yeah,
But we got a dynasty question here. We don't get too many of those.
nice.
Yeah. Sober money. Thanks, man, for the question. We appreciate it. I'll go ahead and reach off here. So dynasty rebuild. Chris and I are both been there and have our rebuilds going too. So PPR, you were sent an offer of Mooney, Reed, Lloyd, and a first, 26 first, 27 second, Gibbs, Evans, and Diggs. You would get the Mooney side. Ooh, that's a lot to give up. I'm guessing it's so we're saying Marshawn Lloyd and Jaden Reed there. Jaden Reed, Mike Evans, or Stephon Diggs. He's probably equal to. He's probably worth more than both those in Dynasty, I would say. But not maybe not together, but
Oh yeah,
Mooney.
yeah. He's easily worth more than each of them individually.
Yeah,
So I mean, you're happy to if you're rebuilding, you're happy to give up Diggs and Evans. Um, Giving up
Gibbs is
Gibbs
the
is
one
hard.
that's tough.
That's
Yeah,
that's that's hard. So let's. Yeah, I don't
Mooney,
think
Reed.
no. You're not doing this, man. I don't think you
Yeah, I
are.
think because of the Gibbs side, it's tough. Like you really want to get a lot for Gibbs. I think
I,
if that 27 second was a 27 first, would you do it, Chris?
I don't. I mean, that's 3 years
Two
from now.
firsts.
No,
I
no, no,
know.
no, no, no,
We
no.
we don't usually like taking picks that are that far out. Even 26 first is a little far out. You like to get like you want to rebuild, but you don't want to rebuild over like 2 or 3 years. You want to rebuild over like a year or two is kind of more where you go
Yeah.
for.
Okay. So like you're rebuilding. Mooney. I'm not gonna say he's worth nothing in a rebuild, but like I don't really care.
He's worth
Lloyd.
this year, not next year. Maybe like you don't know.
Exactly. So okay. So if you're rebuilding, don't give up Gibbs. Let go trade Evans and Diggs for like early seconds
Puka,
each. Yeah. That's I mean, give
go
up
after hurt players.
yes. Give up Diggs and something else. Just go, talk to him. Say Nico
Go,
Collins is out. Here's Diggs and here's another useful player. Give me Puka. Done. I like
yeah,
that a lot.
I think
So
I might even do like Diggs and Evans for Puka with the youth on your side there.
yeah, maybe if you can give up Diggs and Evans and get Puka in like a second back or something
Yeah,
like that. I like that. But I would not give up Gibbs, man. He's 23 years old and he's really good.
yeah.
So I don't.
So,
I'm not in
sometimes
the.
when you're rebuilding, there are certain pieces you want to hold on to. And I know like running backs are good pieces to trade, but when you're a young running back, that's good. You kind of want to hold on to him. Or another trade. So you got another trade here. First, 26 first, 26 second, 25 second. That's not enough for Gibbs alone, I don't think, man.
If someone's
Yeah,
offering me a 26 first and a 26 second for Gibbs, I'm like declining and like slightly laughing at them. Like, why? I
yeah.
mean,
It's
what's your gain? You get no points for 2 years, and then you're praying that you draft another Gibbs.
our chat's blowing up here. So he's saying his thought is RB value is so up and down. You want to get him off while he's high. Totally understand that, man. I just think you can get better value. We both think you can get better value for Gibbs. Just Jameer Gibbs is a top 5 running back in Dynasty. Maybe you could even say top 3 at this point, probably.
I mean, who's I mean, what?
Bijan, Brees Hall, and Gibbs probably for Dynasty running
Yeah,
backs.
I get what you're saying. When you're rebuilding, you want to focus on wide receivers. That's why I think your strategy should be to flip Evans and Diggs for young players. So like go after Nico, go after Puka, stuff.
You can still go after Jaden Reed.
Rasheed
He could
Rice.
still go after Jaden Reed in that trade. Just have the trade for Jaden
Yeah,
Reed with like Diggs for Reed or Evans for Reed. If you have to add a little bit in the trade to get Reed that way or
but
something.
they might not want to trade Reed if they're
Yeah,
competing. But I would go to like the Rasheed Rice, Puka, and Nico Collins owners and throw around Evans and Diggs and see what you can get there. I wouldn't sweat. I hear what you're saying because when I'm rebuilding, I don't like to hold running backs either. But Gibbs is in a timeshare. He's on a potent offense, and running backs that catch the ball like that. Like I feel like Gibbs is going to be Alvin Kamara archetype. Like he's going to be good till he's like 28 or 29. He's just that type of guy. So I'm not really trying to unload Gibbs at all.
I agree. Yeah, I think you want to keep when you have a piece that's good. I like to hold on to him.
But
Uh,
Sober Money, thanks for the question, man. Really appreciate it. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We do a Q&A every week. So hope to see you again. All right. I have a trade given Kyron for Tyreek Hill and Raheem Mostert. see
And
Mostert
he's
cutting.
got his poster. He's got his roster up ahead. He's got Josh Allen, Saquon, Kyron, Zay Flowers, Pickens, Laporta, Christian Kirk, Aubrey at kicker. Nice. Kate Coleman, Brain Allen, and Pickens. That's a nice squad there, man. And so he's giving Kyron for Tyreek Hill and Mostert. I don't want Mostert right now. I know he's got a chance to come back in and get some work. I'd rather have Kyron.
With you have Saquon and you have Kyron, so
yeah, those are two hammers, man.
I will confidently say that you have the best running back tandem in your league, and it's probably not really that close. So just hold on to that advantage that you have.
Those are two hammers. That's great. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, should you hold on to Zay and Pickens? I think hold on to Zay and Zay and Pickens. Yeah.
Okay, another one here from Shane. Thanks for the question, Shane. I have Stroud and Devonta Smith. The Hertz owner has Dell. Do I trade Smith for Dell? No. I don't think so. I mean, Devonta Smith has been like heads and tails better than Dell. I was actually gonna, we didn't get to my buy lows, but I think since Philly was on a bye week and Devonta Smith missed a week before that, let's not forget Devonta Smith is really, really, really good. So no, don't do that.
Devonta Smith much better. Dell's like way down here. Devonta Smith's way up. Yeah,
Devonta Smith is
really good at football.
High end wide receiver 2 at the absolute worst, and Tank Dell is like a back end wide receiver 3 at the best.
Yeah, keep Devonta Smith. You'll be happy.
Don't worry about the stack. You're overthinking a little bit.
Yeah. Right. So right above that, got offered Reed and Debo for Kyron. Does he do it? Well, that's an interesting one. Would you do Jaden Reed and Debo Samuel for Kyron? I mean, I've got Kyron as like top 10 overall for redraft. So Debo and Jaden Reed.
I need to know the context of your league, right?
Is it PPR, half PPR?
And if it's only a 10-person league,
is it 2 wide receivers starting or 3 wide receivers starting? And that does make a difference sometimes in this situation.
There's so many variables that would really affect this.
It's an interesting trade. Like I said, I can see doing it, but like I said, it's going to be to see kind of how it goes. While I respond, we got some more questions there we can run through. Ridge Air 123. Hi there. I'm in a 10-man PPR. Kittle at tight end. Should I trade Kraft for Mooney? For redrafts, if you've got Kittle, I'm okay with that. Mooney's going off for Atlanta right now. What do you think? If you need a wide receiver,
I would shoot a touch. I would shoot a touch higher than that. I think here's the thing.
Would you rather have Calvin Ridley instead of Mooney? No, or how about Jordan Addison?
Yes.
Jordan
Something
Addison.
like that.
We like Jordan Addison better. Lad McConkey.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier Worthy.
Here's the thing is just remember that tight ends have been so bad and Kraft is coming off 2 hammer weeks in a row. You need to use that to your advantage. And Mooney doesn't move the needle for anyone, right? So, I mean, he's been good, but like I would rather package Kraft with
someone else. What if you go after Puka, who knows when Puka's coming back? If you can afford to have Puka on your bench for 4 or 5 weeks, go after a hurt Puka if the guy needs a tight end.
Yeah, I would just shoot a little bit higher. I like where your head's at, but I think you can do better than Mooney. I think put it this way, I think if someone sees you offer this trade, they're like, "Oh, yeah, I'm in." You know what I mean? Like if I had Mooney and anyone offered me Kraft right now, I'm like accepting it so fast. Put it that way. So like I think you can get a little more. Going back to the dynasty trade, the trade was a 25 first, 26 first, 25 second.
Yeah, I still think that would be like just for Gibbs, not like. So I wouldn't include Mike Evans in that. So
here's the thing: I think Evans is worth probably a 26 first. Ish, right? I mean, that kind of cancels out.
It's tough though because people don't value him that way because he's older. But they don't get that he's still going to be a wide receiver 1 this year.
Okay, so let's say Evans is worth the 25 second. That's fair, right? No one's going to argue that. So would you take a 25 first and a 26 first in a rebuild for Gibbs?
Eric All's like 25 first,
Okay, so probably not quite enough.
Yeah, Eric All is like not really worth it's just kind of a throw in.
So I think we're both, Jeremy and I'm in 11 dynasty leagues and Jeremy's in a lot too. So we are the right people to ask about this. I just think I get you want the running backs off. Just let's drop it for now. Don't get rid of Gibbs. Just
hold
trade,
Gibbs, but
hold
Evans
Gibbs.
and Diggs, you should definitely be looking to trade for like a younger wide receiver plus some change if you can, or go after a top young wide receiver you can build around with Gibbs.
Yeah, probably not enough. You're right. I just don't.
And then the Adian one where we were talking about Reed and Debo for Kyron, he's telling us PPR 10-man, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex, Pollard and Jaden Reed for Kyron, or he said Pollard and Debo for Kyron. I would do Pollard and Debo for Kyron if he takes that, dude. Yeah, I think that's good negotiating on your part. It's a great counter there because Pollard and Reed, I would probably still think about that one for Kyron because you're upgrading Pollard. That's a giant upgrade.
I like Reed too much. Sorry.
I know you love Reed. I would still think about that one too. But Pollard and Debo for Kyron is a good way to go there.
In a 10-man league, let's not underestimate. Yeah, Kyron Williams is a freaking hammer in a 10-man league. So and why we keep asking how many people are in the league, the smaller the league. So if you're in like an 8-team or a 10-team league, like the really, really high end running backs and the really, really high end, I'm talking like top 8 in each position, they're like untradeable. Like you can't do it. Like because there's so many, startable players per team that like fringe running backs and wide receivers are like garbage in 10-team leagues. I mean, like there was something, but if you're in a 14-team league, like I will give up Kyron all day without even thinking about it for Pollard and Reed, right? I mean, because you need depth in a 14-team league. So that's why we ask those questions, because it really does matter. And the same trade is different for every league, right? So I would stick with Kyron in a 10-team league.
And then Recon's back on his trade. So he's saying Kyron for Tyreek Hill and Raheem Mostert. His thought was that his wide receivers are dropping 2 points every other week. It's killing him. He wants to get Tyreek because he sees the vision. Tyreek isn't putting up points right now, man, until Tua comes back. So I'd rather have Kyron. He's going to give you so many more points than Tyreek. And Mostert, we don't know what he's going to be like coming back.
He doesn't excite me. I mean, Jalen, like who's to say that Mostert is the guy over Jalen Wright?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they actually gave Jalen Wright some run. So
they did. So Willie Do, thanks for the question. 12-team league, running backs are Hall, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, Allen, Algier, Bucky. I like the running back squad. Should I get rid of Rashad for Downs? Yes.
Yes. We both hate Rashad. I have him on one of my teams. I cannot give him away. I'm trying desperately to give him away. Rashad for Downs is great redraft trade. You
didn't ask the right people if you want an unbiased opinion, because Jeremy and I both cannot stand Rashad White, and we both are in love with Josh Downs.
I liked him. Hey, for the record, I liked Rashad going into the season, and then I saw how they're using him, and it was just like, all right, he's not getting the workload he got last year. Nah.
And Bucky Irving's legit. Yep.
Yeah, Bucky Irving's legit.
Yeah,
that's a great way to go for it, dude. It solves your Nico out plus Addison on bye situation, and yeah, it's a great solve there. Good work.
Edward, thanks for the question, man. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you don't mind, and let's get to your question. So you got a redraft here. Trade London for Gibbs. It's a full PPR.
Not going to read the rest of it.
Yep.
No, just kidding, man. We'll read the rest of it. Sorry, full PPR. You've got Mason, A-Chain, Hunt, Bigsby. Mason, A-Chain, nice work there, dude. Hunt, Bigsby, Bucky. You've got Higgins, London, Godwin, Devontae, Deontay. Yeah, this one's pretty easy for me. I like Drake London a lot, but Jahmyr Gibbs is freaking awesome. You got to go for that.
I agree. Running backs are the more scarce product here. I will say it's a little bit close, and your wide receivers don't necessarily excite me all that much. And you do have
Godwin, your boy Godwin. You love Godwin.
I do love Godwin. And Devontae, once he gets traded, is going to be great, and Higgins will be fine.
Until then, he's got Higgins, Godwin, Deontay to get him through until.
But here's what I would do if we could kind of take it a step further, right? So I think Gibbs is a better asset than London. So I want Gibbs. So then you have Gibbs, Mason, and A Chain. I would flip Kareem Hunt or Tank Bigsby or both.
Both. Yeah.
I think they're both great sell highs right now.
Yeah.
I would flip Hunt or Bigsby or both to a running back needy team and get a good wide receiver because you're a little thin there. Once you trade London, you only have Higgins, Godwin, Devontae.
Deontay.
Yeah. So I would package like Deontay Johnson or Devontae Adams with either Hunt or Bigsby and try to upgrade wide receiver, maybe to like Jaden Reed, someone like that.
We got Sam here. Who do I start? Debo or Christian Kirk on my receiver 2? Debo all day for me.
Debo.
Yeah.
I think he's like a top 15 play pretty much every week that he's healthy.
Yeah. And Seattle, though, they should be able to throw in Seattle.
It's going to be a shootout of a game, probably. Debo, yeah, I have him ranked 10th overall wide receiver this week. And
I got him a little lower, but still, yeah.
Christian Kirk is 32, so not even close there.
I've got Kirk even lower than that. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We were on your buy low candidates there that I took a bunch of already.
Well, you already
said
you already said most of my buy low candidates. So anyway, thanks for all the questions. If anyone has any more questions, we're gonna hang out for like 5 more minutes. But until we get some more questions, you snatched mine. My biggest buy low candidate is Bijan Robinson, and what was my other one? Help me.
A Chain maybe.
It was A Chain, and then my wide receiver buy low. What the? I'm blanking right now. Tyreek Hill. People I feel like are just overly frustrated because they drafted him top 5 in the draft. I just feel like it's a winning play. You take the chance that Tua is coming back and that he's gonna smash. If you're a 5-0 team or a 4-1 team, I'm just trying to trade for Tyreek Hill because you have a little bit of you can slip a little bit and still make the playoffs, and it's just such an upside play that you could get Tyreek with Tua. I mean, I like that a lot. And then another one, it's kind of we didn't talk about Seattle much. Kenneth Walker, he's missed 2 weeks out of the 5 weeks, and I feel like he's just kind of not like a sexy name, and he's missed 2 out of the 5 weeks. The 3 games he's played, the guy just absolutely smashes.
Crushes.
And people saw Charbonnet fill in and do good. So I feel like Kenneth Walker is almost like boring. Like, no, he's like when he's good. Healthy, he's top 8 running back at least. I mean, I just think he's kind of, I don't even know. He's like not a sexy name right now, and he's kind of being overlooked. And Seattle is finally using him in the passing game. His pass game usage has been outstanding. So love Kenneth Walker. I don't know if anyone's selling him low per se, but I'm all in trying to buy him.
Our man Andion's back, so he said no to I think it was Pollard and it's a different wideout, but he's Pollard and Reed for Kyron. I would do this. You love Jaden Reed, so. And then he picks up. I would go Tyron Tracy over Geno on waivers because if Tracy gets to start over Devin Singletary, I mean, if he does well another week, he could really cut into that role.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think
I like getting Kyron. He's a top 10 overall guy.
Yeah, it's so close, man. Running back. It's so close. I'm a bad person to ask this because I love Jaden Reed, especially in PPR leagues. I don't know. I just really like him. So
yeah.
I think it's super close.
Yeah. I like it, especially if Tracy's there to pick up. I think it's because then you get a couple running backs there. Edward, I feel you, man. It's tough when it's your favorite player to let go of, but it's a good Gibbs is a giant upgrade there.
And let's not talk about if David Montgomery ever goes down with an injury. You're seeing running back 1, a lock pretty much. Remember the trade with Saquon for Bijan and Moore? He wants me to add Worthy, and he'll add Rico Dowdle. Yes. Yeah, still love it.
Yeah. Worthy for Rico Dowdle still on so he's trading Saquon and Worthy for
Bijan,
Bijan,
Moore, and
Moore,
Rico
and Rico
Dowdle.
Dowdle. Yeah, I still like it.
I mean, I almost like
We
Rico
think
Dowdle more
Rico's
than
taken
Worthy.
over the back. Yeah, I was gonna say we think Rico's taken over the backfield in
Okay,
Dallas.
let me clarify. I like it more now because
I don't know if I like it more, but I still like it.
Jeremy knows how
I
much
like him at the stand.
I can't
He
stand
hates
Xavier
Worthy.
Worthy.
He
I
hates
mean,
Worthy.
I think he's one of the most overrated players
He's the best wide receiver on the team now.
who doesn't score
Second
fantasy
to
points.
Kelsey. Yeah.
He ran
He's a
one in
rookie,
last week.
second half of the season.
He gets 3 targets a game. I'm tired of it. He sucks.
We'll see.
Okay, he doesn't suck. He just doesn't score fantasy points.
No, he is like the other guys. You're all starting over Worthy, so like you're starting Dowdle over Worthy probably right now.
Yeah, Josh, still do it. I mean, I think getting Bijan and DJ Moore, and I think Dowdle's a nice little bench stash. I mean, Zeke's not
Yeah,
going to be a
you're
thing.
starting Dowdle over Worthy. Like, yeah, I think it's. I
makes
agree.
it better.
I agree with Chris. I like Worthy, but that's even better of a better trade.
So that guy just finessed himself. So
Yeah.
he tried to make the trade better for him, but he really made it worse. So
It's the Worthy love. People love Worthy, and I get it, but in this situation, the Dowdle's the better fantasy for redraft.
For sure. Yep. Good trade, man. Get it
some
done.
so high candidates, I think, is next up. I've only got a couple here. We've talked about them already, but Michael Pittman, he does well with Joe Flacco. He does not do well with Anthony Richardson, who's going to be coming back. Anthony Richardson. It's a good time to try to get rid of him if you can. And then Tank Bigsby, we saw an explosion of a game that we probably won't see again unless something happens to Etienne again. So he's a guy to try to get rid of if you can.
I have a weird one to run by you. And I don't think I ever expected this to come out of my mouth.
Yeah. Well, real quick, Adion said he's going to go Higgins and Pollard. Would you rather have Higgins or Jaden Reed? T. Higgins. I'd probably rather have Jaden Reed. So I think I like that approach.
Yeah.
Especially T. Higgins coming off a big game. It's a good idea, Adion. Go for it, man. Might as well.
Yeah.
But sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. What were you saying?
In a 10-team league, I don't, and especially in PPR, Reed better than Higgins.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is I have a weird sell high. I never thought I would say this, and hear me out. Don't yell as soon as you hear it. he had like 21 targets this past week. What do you think about selling Garrett Wilson?
I'm actively trying to, actually, in one league. Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like it.
Because the Jets are just an absolute dumpster fire of a team, and because the Jets are the favorites to land Devontae Adams, and because Aaron Rodgers loves Devontae Adams and Alan Lazard, because of all those reasons, and Garrett Wilson is coming off a 21 or 22 target game.
That's how many targets it takes for him to have a blow up game, and he can't
do it.
He
barely had 100 yards.
Yeah, he can't do it every week.
I think if there's a league mate that is just like salivating over a wide receiver that just got 20 plus targets, I think it's the time to flip him, because that offense is like really, really bad. Breece Hall looks awful. Garrett Wilson looks awful. Aaron Rodgers looks awful. I think you want to get out there. So anyway, I'm glad. I was actually surprised you agree with me. You're a big Garrett Wilson guy.
I know. I think the offense is struggling. All the mess going on with the Jets right now. He just had a giant game. It's a good time to try and sell him, I think. Start 2, Dobbins, Dowdle, Chase Brown, or Kirk. So Chase Brown's the easy selection here, especially if Zach Moss is out there.
If Moss is out, Chase Brown is a smash.
And I probably Dobbins, right? Yeah. I would say. I mean, not that anything against Dowdle, but
yeah, Dobbins.
Yeah, Chase Brown and J.K. Dobbins, and then Dowdle I've got like just behind those two. And I think you can probably say like, I think even if Zach Moss is in there, I still want Chase Brown over Dowdle. Like, start 3. Oh, that's easy. Dobbins, Dowdle, Chase Brown, bench Kirk. And then I like the Chargers D slightly better than the Bucks D. But the Bucks are getting New Orleans, right? I think, who is probably starting Spencer Rattler.
I don't know, man. Rattler looked great in the preseason,
Yeah.
like really, really good.
I
I
think the Chargers do better a little bit because they're getting Denver. So
it's the Chargers is the easy answer here. I
yeah,
mean, they've been pretty good this
yeah,
year. Um, kind of out of the blue, right? They were pretty bad last year. Denver, I know they've had what is Denver 3-2 somehow? They might be the worst 3-2
that sounds
team
about
ever.
right. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
the defense
but
has been just phenomenal
yeah,
for
I think
Denver.
Chargers is a really good spot this week.
Yeah.
So go
So
with them.
Dobbins, Dowdle, Chase Brown, Chargers. You're set.
Yep.
Yeah, I like this. I like the sell high candidate there, Garrett Wilson. Yep. Yeah. I love him, but yeah, in one of the dynasty leagues, I'm trying to shop him on my
Which one
rebuild
am I in
team.
it?
Nah, you're not. Yeah.
Oh damn.
It's that one rebuild I have.
Okay, gotcha.
Seeing if I can shop him for like Puka plus or something. But the
And I
guy
guess
doesn't like to trade.
I'll throw one more sell high out there, and we just kind of talked about him. I'm just not a long term believer in Darnell Mooney. I know he's
No.
playing 95% of the snaps. I know Kirk Cousins throws for 500 yards every game, apparently, but I don't know. Just the pedigree of the player for me isn't there, and I feel like if I can get a more
Xavier Worthy.
no.
You'd rather have Darnell Mooney than Xavier Worthy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now let me give you an example of like
Christian Kirk.
No, higher than
No?
that. Better.
Oh, okay.
You can get better than that, right?
That's Michael Pittman.
Here's a decent one. What about Amari Cooper? I bet you can get Amari Cooper for Darnell Mooney.
Amari Cooper owner might be fed up with him. Yeah, I don't know about Mooney. I'm not a huge believer in him, but I do believe in the amount of targets he's getting. So there's that. We got a question here, Edward Zhang. Where do you guys have Laporta ranked among tight ends the rest of the season? I got him tight end 5 behind with Bowers, McBride, Kelsey, and Kittle. Like he's in that range. What do you think?
I think you can't have him lower than 5. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, Bowers, Kittle, McBride are like the locked in top 3 for me.
Yeah,
but
I think Kelsey is too now because of the injuries.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, he can't be lower than 5. Anything lower than 5 is just not true. Yeah. I mean, Ferguson's up there, I guess. Kelsey's up there.
I'd have Ferguson and Kincaid kind of behind him.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, Laporta has the upside to hop Ferguson, McBride, all of them actually. I mean,
his year last year was insane. Laporta's year, it was absolutely insane. Like he had to regress. He can't catch that many touchdowns, but he also should be catching more touchdowns this year. So I think we'll see him do better.
Oh, and you actually reminded me of I don't even know if I would even call it buy low, buy correctly. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'd love buying people that come off buys because people look at their stats on Sleeper or Yahoo, whatever. Mm-hmm. So Amon-Ra is currently showing as the wide receiver 20. So he had a shit first game where he scored 3 points, and he's had a bye week already. But his other 3 games were just 20 plus points. So I don't know. Certain people just look at, oh yeah, he's wide receiver 20. Like he hasn't been that good. So anyway, I like him. I like the Lions. I like all the Lions. Give me all of them.
Yeah. Mason, Ladd, and Juju for Devontae and Swift or James Conner. I mean, I kind of like trying to selling high on Mason, but also if Jordan Mason goes the rest of the year, like he's a top 5 guy, kind of. I would go James Conner over Swift. What do you think?
Oh, that was my first comment is get Swift out of here. If you get to choose between those, I want Conner.
Yeah.
So the crap thing about the Devontae side is is he going to play the next 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah, we don't know. If you can afford to not have Devontae in your lineup for 2 or 3 weeks, and James Conner is going in for Mason, maybe he's not starting Ladd and Juju, so they're just he's just getting Devontae for that.
I mean, I guess Connor is probably a slight downgrade off Mason, but it's not egregious, right? So if Lad and Juju are on your bench and you have other receivers that you're playing and you don't need Devontae, I like
Yeah,
the
I
Devontae and
like it.
Connor side. I don't like that trade. I don't like the Devontae side if you're like 2-3 or like 3-2. If you're like
Yeah,
4-1 or 5-0, I like it.
that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah. I like this trade if you don't want to do this trade if you're hurting because you need Mason starting every week right now. But I mean, even then, I don't know. It's a pretty good trade
Yeah.
because you're probably not starting Lad and Juju, so you're just getting Mason for James Conner. I actually like James Conner better rest of the season probably than Mason.
Yeah.
It all depends on CMC. Who knows, right? It just
Yeah.
depends on that. A lot of it. But we both agree: do not get Swift in this deal. We both don't like Swift rest of the
Yep.
season.
Actually, I'm more firm now. I like the Devontae and Connor side because we're playing to get first place, not third or fourth. And I think that's a first place type trade. You're shooting for upside. We'll just assume CMC is coming back and Mason will be a nothing in 4 weeks from now.
Yeah. And then feelings on Brees. You're talking to a Brees owner here. I've got a bunch of them. Chris knows because he's tried to take him away from me a few times. Tried to trade for him. It's been rough, dude. Right? Having Brees Hall has been rough. It was. I watched the Jets game this last week, and I was like, the Braylon Allen getting in there all the time is bugging me. I still have Brees Hall as like a top 10 running back the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I'm just the talent is there. I'm hoping they're going to use him more. I'm not out on him yet, and I don't think Braylon Allen's going to take over that backfield by any means. But it's frustrating seeing them get to like goal line or like short range goal line situations, and Braylon Allen's in the backfield. It drives me insane. I saw it happen this week and was just like, where is my boy Brees Hall in there? But just hold on, man. Hold on. Let's see how he does. It's still early in the season to overreact too much. It's not that he's like having the worst games ever. He's not giving you what you thought you were going to get. So give him a few more weeks, then we'll panic. What do you think?
He's in a get right spot this week against Buffalo.
That's true.
Buffalo gave up the world to Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. So, I mean, yeah, I'm still in. I mean, okay, I'll test if you're still in, Jeremy. If you had Brees Hall and someone offered you David Montgomery, what do you do?
Oh, Brees Hall still. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what if, Brees Hall or Josh Jacobs?
Brees Hall.
Okay, so you're still way in because the people that I'm saying like for this coming week are ranked the number 5 and the number 7 running back on the week. So you're still in on him as
I think he's still top 10. Yeah,
I think talent prevails, and Oops. Christian, thanks for the question, man. If you don't mind, please click the like button for us. We'd really appreciate that. And we do a Q&A every Tuesday or Wednesday, so keep an eye out. And hope you come back next time. Which side is better, Puka, Kamara, and Moore, or Tyreek and Saquon? Tyreek and Saquon.
Yeah, I think that was kind of tough. So we both agree Saquon's probably running back 1. He just scores every freaking week and is amazing. But Kamara is no slouch. He's got to be top 5 running back. So they're pretty close. So you're saying like hurt Puka and DJ Moore for Tyreek. DJ Moore is putting up better points than Tyreek right now until Tua is back, and we don't have a timeline on Tua yet. So that one's a little rough for me. If you have enough depth to do it, I probably like the upgrades to Tyreek and Saquon. This is the type of trade where if you're, I don't know.
We don't know if it's a 10-team league or
if it's a smaller league, I like upgrading.
If it's a 10-team league, I like the Tyreek and Saquon side better because you'll get the best running back, and then the upside with Tyreek is just through the roof. But if it's a 12-team league, I think it's pretty even, and I might actually like the other side better. So it really matters about your league setup.
And then Bronson got back to us about the Mason trade. It's a 3 flex league. Other wide receivers are Chase, London, Debo, Scary. Yeah, you got, dude. Yeah. Do that one. Your wide receivers are fine. Yeah.
Yeah, get rid of Lad and Juju. Especially, perfect week to sell Juju, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he
dude,
goes
perfect.
off. Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe Juju will prove us all wrong and be amazing the rest of the season. Props to him if he does it. It's just been a long time since we've seen him do that. So odds are not with him, unfortunately. Sold Brees for A-Chain and Godwin last week. Good job. Not going to hate on that. I love Brees Hall, but those are two other great players. So, yeah.
I mean, one could squint and argue that A-Chain is just as good, if not better, than Brees rest of season, especially if Tua comes back. And Godwin's like a wide receiver too. So, you nailed that one. Okay.
And Bros was let us know about his running backs. Yeah, you'll be solid, dude, because you'll have if we're trying to remember the trade.
James Conner.
Connor, yes, thank you. You'll have Connor and Jacobs, and those are two great backs the rest of the season to have. With some nice, we like we love Bucky, so great backup to have there.
So,
thanks for the sub and like, Christian. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Appreciate you. So this is the guy that was talking about Brees Hall. Just traded for him. I believed and paired him with Kyron. Good.
Dude. Yeah. That's two hammers. That's what we love to see. Two big hammers on your team that can just any week go off and give you a ton of points. That's awesome.
Yeah, having two locked-in starters at running back is a feeling unlike any other. So, love to get that done.
Yeah. All I have left are some waivers. We kind of talked about a few. Tyrone Tracy is top of my list, running back wise. If Singletary is out, he looked pretty good last week. And if Singletary's out, he comes in and has another good week. Maybe he takes over the job. Who knows? Ty Chandler, we're not sure about Aaron Jones going or not next week. So
they have a bye, right?
Yeah, they're on bye, but for next week, we're not sure. So Ty Chandler is a great pickup, especially a sneaky pickup because they're on bye. If you got bench space,
really good. Really good point.
Right? Yeah. You and I have talked about for weeks Tolbert with Dallas. Yep. He had another good game. If he's still out there, he's worth grabbing. We talked earlier about Trey Tucker for Vegas with Devontae Adams leaving. Someone's got to catch the ball. He's good. And then Jalen Polk. We haven't talked about him too much because New England has not been good. They're making a change at quarterback this week. They're saying Drake May, the rookie's going to start. I hope he doesn't just get destroyed because the O-line is terrible. But it does, I think, give some hope for maybe he has his connection with Jalen Polk, and Jalen Polk kind of has some good games in here. So he's deep bench stash. If Juju's out there, he should be picked up after the game he had. He shouldn't be sitting on your waivers. And then a QB option, Daniel Jones, sneakily good for fantasy lately, right? I mean,
yeah, agree. Yeah. The only other person that I'll add is Whittington if he's out there. He kind of cemented his role as wide receiver 1 on the Rams until the two main guys are back. So, I think you nailed it. And
I've got a few defenses. I'd like to throw some of those in. So the top defense, Philly, they got to be the top defense this week. They get the Browns, and the Browns are just terrible. The Steelers are probably already owned, but they're another good one. And then I've got Houston, Denver, and Tampa Bay in that order. If y'all need some defenses to stream.
Okay. Dig all of those. I never thought I'd say it, but yeah, the you might even consider starting Jets defense against Buffalo, just because Buffalo's been reeling the last couple weeks. And, usually a team after they fire their coach are all fired up and have a good game. So
I don't know if I go that far. I think there are better options. I have them, and I'm benching them this week.
Okay.
For a bunch, the Bucks are out there. I think even the Colts against Tennessee are probably better options. The Falcons get Carolina. I think I'd rather have the Falcons D than the Jets D this week. Yeah, see, there you go, Mike. Yeah, tell him, Mike.
All right,
Mike, I'm on your side, man. I'm not starting the Jets D. I think we get Jeremy, an angry Josh
you do
Allen.
Not have to be nice to him just because it's a Bills channel. You don't have to do it. I'm just saying the Bills have looked bad 2 weeks in a row.
We're gonna get angry Josh Allen. He's gonna put the team on his back. He's gonna run for 200 yards or something and just score all the touchdowns himself. He'll be throwing and catching everything. I don't know.
The Jets are a great defense. I'll leave it at that.
Angry Josh Allen. Yeah.
He's angry because he's concussed and confused.
Yeah.
All right. I offered Waddle and Wicks to someone for Nico. Is that too much or not enough? My other wide receivers are Jefferson, Dell, and Deontay. I like that
I
because I
mean,
think
I agree. Yeah, I was gonna say I like it too. It just depends on the person, how much they value Nico. And sometimes it's tough, but I
I
think
mean
it's a good trade. It gives them somebody to put in his spot, right?
I think if you're 5-0 or you're 4-1, you probably weren't around at the beginning of the show, but we were talking about just general strategy based on record. If you're 5-0 or 4-1, Waddle's not doing much for you, and you can just Nico's the wide receiver 2 on the year, right? So yeah, ship him off. If you lose, one or two of your next 4 games, you're still in the running, and then you have Nico Collins and with Justin Jefferson, right? So I think that's a good strategy to employ there.
We got a question from Stefan
Stefan.
here. Hey, Stefan, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate the questions. Make sure you like and subscribe. So, who would you drop 10-team full PPR? He's got between Downs, McConkey, Trey Tucker, Tutu, Bigsby, Mostert, and Dowdle. It's probably between Tucker and Atwell, do you think? I'm probably leaning Atwell here.
Yeah, 2-2 for me. Yeah, I think Trey Tucker we like a little bit because Devontae Adams is probably going to get traded. Tank Bigsby, I like him on your roster because I think he's a good trade candidate. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's easily 2-2. I don't think he's a short timer there, right? I think,
Yeah.
that's
You're just about like long term value. You don't have to start him. So you're thinking long term value on your bench here. Eventually, Cooper Cup and Puka are going to come back, whereas Trey Tucker, he's actually going to get more chances with Devontae out even this next week. We know Devontae's out this next week, and if a trade happens, probably longer. If the trade doesn't happen, he's probably still going to have a hamstring sprain or whatever, because he doesn't want to play. They put him with a shit quarterback, and he's like, I'm tired of getting open and not getting the ball.
Yeah. So yeah, cut 2-2.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate all of you coming by. 2-hour show, 2-hour and 1-minute show. So it's been fun. All of you that are out there, if you don't mind liking the video, subscribe to the channel. We do a Q&A every week. Please drop by. I'm seeing a lot of the same people coming every week. That's awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys hanging out. So until next week, good luck in week 6. Come back next week. Tell us how you did with your trades and how your team's doing. And looking forward to keep helping you out. Good night.
Go Commanders over Ravens.